Hani Bojo. Ginabajing Anishinabek, Anjibara, Besho Huron, Zagigan, Makwa Dodem, Jesse Wente, Indigenous cause. So in English, I just introduced myself. My name is Jesse Wente, as you heard. I'm Anishinaabe from Ginabajing Anishinaabek on the north shore of Lake Huron, and my clan is Bear Clan, as you might be able to tell. It is my great honor and privilege to be here with you today to present this award to Alanis Obomsawin. I can think of no one more deserving than Alanis. I first met Alanis 30 years ago at a screening of her landmark documentary, Ganasatake, 270 Years of Resistance. But like many, I first encountered her nearly a decade before. It was when I was just about 10 years old that I saw my first Alanis Obomsawin film, Incident at Restigouche, which was broadcast on TV in Canada. Never before had I seen an Indigenous woman who looked a lot like my mom on TV, let alone challenging a government official over First Nations rights. That moment changed my perception of cinema, its potential, and my potential place within it. Alanis has inspired countless people in the exact same way. Hers was a voice, a face that was often singular in the media in Canada. And for so many of us, she was a beacon of what could be done. That there is so much more Indigenous media today, all around the world, that we now have organizations and institutions to support our filmmaking and storytelling, so much of that is because of Alanis and the inspiration she provides. Her work is no less impactful. Across more than 50 years and 56 films, Alanis has held a mirror up to Canada and colonialism. She's provided the microphone for many to use their voices to speak truth to power. Her cinema is the cinema of listening and giving voice. It's a decolonial approach that existed before such notions were the topic of dissertations, university courses, or training seminars. I don't even think anyone knew what the word decolonization was when Alanis started her work. Her cinema is of the people in a way that most documentaries never even attempt to be. That too has provided a path for an Indigenous cinema ethic that persists, one that resists extractionist methodologies and centers the subject at all times. It is community-based filmmaking ethic embodied by one individual and her work. And just to give you the briefest Indigenous cinema history lesson, Indigenous cinema, unlike every other national cinema, was founded by women. Two women, to be precise, from Eritrea, Mara Tamita, who a few years ago joined her ancestors, and Alanis, who joins us here today. It's a career and impact that would likely not exist without publicly funded arts like we have in Canada with the National Film Board. And I say this because I am chair of the single largest arts funding body in Canada, but I also say this because I know this is not a privilege found often enough here, below the medicine line. And also because the value of public arts is so often questioned. And I believe Alanis and her work provides as compelling reasoning as one could ever need. 30 years after first meeting her, I stand here privileged to call Alanis my colleague, my mentor, my fellow warrior, and most of all, my friend. I hope she knows that the work I have done was all inspired by her, and that her presence will resonate beyond 7 generations. My people, we believe that you exist on this world to do deeds that will live 7 generations into the future, and that we are here as a result of choices made 7 generations in the past. That is the purpose of life, for us to honor the people we will never meet. And Alanis has done this so well. So congratulations, Alanis, on this wonderful honor. And as always, Miigwech, 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 chi miigwech, for all that you are. Thank you so much, and congratulations.
Thank you. You make me feel so welcome. And as if you are all my friends. Thank you so much for this great, great honor. I didn't know that in my lifetime I would be recognized like this. Wabanaki, people from where the sun rises. Our people's land was all of New England. In Canada, a very large part of it was Wabanaki country, the southern part of Quebec, New Brunswick. It is proven that in Vermont, in Maine, in Quebec, our people were there for more than 11,000 years. There were wars for 300 years with our people, and they lost the land. And at the end of it, some people, some leaders got together and tried to get all the Wabanaki people that was left to be present. And they said, we're going to have to separate on our territory, far away from one to another. Each one of you individually try to keep and remember something of your language or your tradition, your culture, because in several generations from now, the descendants will meet again, make a circle with the memories that they saved, and our people will be one again. And I think, I'm an old lady, I'm 90 years old, and I have lived long enough to see this. And I want to tell all our people that have passed how dignified and how beautiful they were and still are. And thank you so much for being here. I just didn't know that I could feel so much love. Thank you. He's handsome, eh? I wish he was here. This is such an honor. Thank you so much.